All right, welcome to. I can't hear anything. Okay, there we go. Welcome to Digital Domain Park here in Port St. Lucie as we begin the 2012 FHSAA Baseball Finals. We start with the 5A semifinal this afternoon, or this morning, pardon me. It's 10 a.m. as the Clay Blue Devils out of Green Cove Springs will take on the Ponte Vedra Sharks out of St. Johns County in Northeast Florida. Along with Mark Schambeck, I'm Marty Paulman, welcoming you to Port St. Lucie as we begin our fourth year of these FHSAA Baseball Finals. And Mark, as we look at this first matchup this morning, interesting to see as Ponte Vedra made it here for the second time in 3 years under their coach Tom Stanton, a relatively young program, only in its fourth year as a school. But for Clay, a long time for the Clay Blue Devils since they last made it to this round.
Well, it's a beautiful opportunity for both these teams to travel some 200 miles to play a backyard team, basically. Guys that they know through travel ball growing up. There's not going to be a lot of secrets. It's going to be a pitching outing and a team that runs very well, trying to put some runs on the board early. So we'll see if we can get a runner on early, and every team is going to be fighting for every run. As the rains are coming, potentially, we have overcast skies and a situation where we're really blessed to get this first game going under schedule.
Yeah, we really are, as we'll start here with the first pitch at 10:05, and here's the starting lineup for the Clay Blue Devils with a record of 21-9, leading off and playing left field is number 10, Wes Weeks. Hitting second today and pitching for the Blue Devils, number 3, Dane Dunning. Hitting third in right field, number 32, Dakota Higdon. Batting fourth at first base is number 19, Jake Frasowski. Hitting fifth at third base, number 2, Andy Tolkien. Batting sixth at shortstop, number 9, Hunter Alexander. Hitting seventh and playing second base, number 4, Jordan DeSuyo. Batting eighth and catching, number 1, Austin Wilson. Hitting ninth, the designated hitter, number 17, Jake Altman. And Jeremy Foy will be in center field, not in the lineup for Clay High, as they will face Matt Deegan, the right-hander for Ponte Vedra. He enters with a record of 7-2. This will be his 12th appearance, 11th start of the season. 54 1/3 innings pitched, has allowed 33 hits, 11 earned runs, 16 walks, 58 strikeouts, and a 1.41 ERA. First pitch from Deegan is a swing and a miss by Wes Weeks, and it's 0-1.
Number 10 on the mound, a hard thrower, big fastball, likes to throw inside.
0-1 popped up over towards the first base dugout, and running out of room is the first baseman, Ryan Tiefer.
Plenty of foul ground in this stadium. Beautiful Martin County hosting the tournament here this year. We've got major league conditions.
410 to straightaway center, 338 down the lines, and there's called strike 3. So Weeks is out on 3 pitches, 1 out as Deegan gets an opening strikeout for Ponte Vedra.
Looks like he snuck that fastball in inside. There was a feeble attempt on the swing there to try to cover it, but blew it by him.
So 1 out here is Dane Dunning, the pitcher today for the Blue Devils. Defensively for Ponte Vedra at first base, Ryan Tiefer. The second baseman is Max Miller. The shortstop is Nathan Rokiz. Third baseman is Brett Poling. In the outfield, the right fielder is Perry Orth. And center field, Jake Jacob. The left fielder is Jackson Johnson. Catching is Alex Willich, and Matt Deegan on the mound. 0-1 quickly to Dunning, and that pitch misses outside, 1-1. There's the 1-1 on the way as it's chopped to third, and that will be a nice scoop at first base. Good play there by Poling. His throw was in the dirt, but Tiefer able to scoop it up. And that's quickly 2 outs here in the top of the first for Clay.
It's nice to get the jitters off, get your first ground ball, make that throw, get that out of the way, and play error-free the rest of the way. Nice pickup to save the E by the first baseman.
The 2 outs, here's Dakota Higdon, the right fielder. And left-handed hitter takes the first pitch outside for a ball, 1-0. Rob Thompson is the coach at Clay High School. He's in the third base box. 52 years old, graduated of the University of North Florida Orange Park High School. 24 years as the head baseball coach at Clay, as it's fouled back to the screen. It's 1-1. No record listed. This year Clay at 21-9. And there's a chopper to short. That's going to be a tough play and not going to be in. No, they did get him. Wow.
Hard charging play right there. That's the only chance he had, was to release it on the run. Yeah. Made a nice delivery. Umpire banged him out.
Roadkiz makes the play and looked like, I thought Higdon beat it, but umpire called him out 6-3. So Clay goes 1-2-3 in the bottom. We go to the bottom of the first. Clay nothing, and Ponte Vedra coming to bat. You're watching the Class 5A semifinals here on the FHSAA network. We'll return in just a moment.
Hey, can I see?
We go to the bottom of the first. Ponte Vedra coming to bat. No score. Clay goes 1-2-3 in the top of the first. In our first 5A semifinal game of the day, our second 5A semifinal coming up at 4 o'clock this afternoon between Tampa Jesuit and Maya and Plantation American Heritage. We'll move to 6A this afternoon beginning at 1 o'clock. As for Ponte Vedra, it'll be Jake Jacob, the center fielder, lead off, number 3. Batting second is Jackson Johnson, the left fielder, number 25. Hitting third, playing right field for Ponte Vedra, number 20, Perry Orth. Batting fourth at second base, number 17, Max Miller, as the first pitch is inside for a ball, 1-0. Hitting fifth and playing shortstop, number 8, Nathan Roadkiz. Batting sixth, the designated hitter, number 13, Walker Scheller. Batting seventh at first base, number 24, Ryan Tiefer. Hitting eighth and catching, number 15, Alex Willich. And batting ninth is the third base, number 4, Brett Poling. Popped up towards the Ponte Vedra dugout, and it's out of play. And it's 0-1. And on the mound is Dane Dunning, the right-hander for the Clay Blue Devils. And don't have his updated stats. 5-3 throughout the regular season. 58 to 30 innings pitched, allowed 31 hits, 25 walks, 71 strikeouts in 58 to 30 innings. A 6'3" junior.
Word is on Clay, they catch and throw the ball real well. Their pitching is not overpowering, but they throw a lot of strikes.
Breaking pitch in for a strike, and it's 1-2 to Jake Jacob. Jake Jacob coming in at 361 with 5 RBIs, 30 hits, 20 runs scored on the year. Just underway, bottom of the first. And ooh, that's up and in. It's 2-2.
We're going to have to get the backstory on those bright orange shoelaces. A lot of these kids grew up playing for a team called the Orange Crush. Who knows if that dates way back, but those are pretty visible. I don't know if you can see those on TV. Very bright orange.
There they are right there. For Dunning, the 2-2 is chopped to third. And a quick play across in time. The third baseman there is Andy Tolkien. He throws out Jacob for the first out in the bottom of the first. And that'll bring up Jackson Johnson, the left fielder for Ponte Vedra. Defensively for the Clay Blue Devils, at first base, Jake Frasowski. The second baseman is Jordan DeSuyo. At third base, Andy Tolkien. The shortstop, Hunter Alexander. In the outfield, Dakota Higdon in right. Wes Weeks is in left. The center fielder is Jeremy Foy. Austin Wilson behind the plate, and on the mound is Dane Dunning. One out. We mentioned Jackson Johnson now up. 1 o'clock this afternoon, it will be Pace against Melbourne in the 6A semifinals. It's fouled back to the backstop. And at 7 o'clock tonight, Lakewood Ranch and Archbishop McCarthy, who's the #1 team in the country coming into the regular season. That'll be in 6A tonight. Our other 5A semifinal, Tampa Jesuit and Plantation American Heritage at 4 o'clock today. The 5A championship game will be tomorrow at 4:05. The 6A championship tomorrow night at 7:05 here from Port St. Lucie.
frenetic pace of this game is going to bless us if the rains continue. We need to get as many of these innings in as possible. So far, we've got no base runners.
4 games today scheduled. As we mentioned at 10, 1, 4, and 7 o'clock. Here's the 1-1. And a little bit low and inside 2-1. Clay's road to Port St. Lucie. They defeated Palaca 5-1. They were district champs. They beat Creekside 1-0, and then Hernando 3-2, winning all the games at home. For Ponte Vedra, a little bit tougher road. They were a district champ as well. They had 2 9-inning games as that ball gets back to the backstop. It's now 3-1 to Johnson. They beat Jacksonville-Paxson 3-2 in 9 innings of the regional quarters. Had to go on the road to take on one of the top teams of the state. Beat Bishop Kenny 4-2 in the regional semis. And then 2-1 in 9 innings over West Florida out of Pensacola in the regional final. So they scored 9 runs in 3 games. All their games were by 1 or 2 runs in 2 9-inning games, but Ponte Vedra made it here. As the pitch is on the outside corner for a strike, now full 3-2.
Marty, I don't believe that Ponte Vedra is a power hitting team, but if they could get one in the gap here, shoot one through the gap with the infield or the outfield playing shallow, they could run for days here.
The count's actually 3-2. Perry Orth is on deck. So Johnson still at the plate with one out, nobody on. And he fouls it all over to the left. Ooh, over there, that Ponte Vedra dugout. Over the dugout into the...
Nice catch by one of the fans there. Snagged that ball.
Ponte Vedra followers over there makes the play, so it remains full 3-2. More self-defense than anything else.
Pays to pay attention.
How about Ponte Vedra, though? Boy, they had some tough ball games to get here.
1-run ball games, 3 in a row. Is that correct?
1-run game, 1-run game, 2-run game, and the 2 1-run games went 9 innings, extra innings. 3-2 is hit to second. Oh, it's bobbled, though. Picked up, though, throw to first, still in time over there by Jordan DeSuyo as he stayed with it and threw out Johnson for the second out here in the bottom of the first.
Well, it's not uncommon early in these games for the fielders to be a little bit antsy when that ball comes to them. That was a routine ground ball. Good news is on the right side of the diamond, you got time for the bobble. If that ball was on the left side to the shortstop, probably would have beat that out. Tom
Stanton is the head coach at Ponte Vedra High School, 4th year of the school in the program, 2nd Final Four appearance. He's 64-47. Both these coaches, Rob Thompson of Clay and Ponte Vedra's Tom Stanton, are graduates of the University of North Florida in Jacksonville. Pitches in the dirt, 1-0 to Perry Orth. And actually, they both went to rival high schools. Rob Thompson to Orange Park High. Ponte Vedra, Tom Stanton to Middleburg High School. And as an Orange Park High graduate, I can tell you how big that rivalry is with Middleburg. So they may have a rivalry between the two coaches here. Not only is these teams are playing for a state championship appearance. It's 2-0 now.
Marty, it's nice that they redistrict up in that area so that more of these wonderful teams can make this trip down here for the state tournament. It's my understanding that there were 9 teams all in the same district, then finally they rearranged it, split them in half so that these two that used to be in the same district now can come down here and participate simultaneously.
So now the count is 2-1 to Perry Orth, who chops it to third, foul. It's 2-2. Perry Orth is the quarterback on the Ponte Vedra football team, which this year made its first playoff appearance this past season, making it to the regional final round. Again, Ponte Vedra really has a program, as a school, growing already in only its 4th year.
It's no secret both these teams made it this far with the type of baseball we're seeing here. A lot of strikes being thrown and some good defense.
Orth swings at a pitch in the dirt, and it gets away, but the strikeout is completed as Austin Wilson makes the throw to first, and there's the first strikeout of the game for Dane Dunning as he gets Perry Orth to go at it one in the dirt. 1-2-3 goes Ponte Vedra here in the first. No score between Clay and Ponte Vedra through 1 inning in this 5A semifinals. You're watching the 2012 FHSAA Baseball Finals from Port St. Lucie here on the FHSAA Network. Welcome back to Digital Domain Park here in Port St. Lucie. We go to the top of the second of this 5A semifinal game. No score between Clay and Ponte Vedra. Marty Palman being joined here by Mark Schanbach, welcoming you to these baseball finals, our opening game for 2012. Here is Jake Frasowski, the first baseman for Clay, left-handed hitter. First pitch on the inside corner for a strike, 0-1. Oops. There's a grounder to first, and the throw gets away from Deegan as the play was made in the hole by Ryan Tiefer. And he made a nice play, but he tried to flip it, flipped it behind Deegan, and that'll be the first base runner of the game as Frasowski will get to first. We'll see. That might be an error, but Frasowski may have beaten that throw. Either way. Sorry, go ahead.
It looked like a routine ground ball that got away from him. Pitcher was not late covering, but the throw was up away. He could not reach back for it. It was thrown behind him. I think they'll give an error on the throw on that.
I know our official score is right next to us here in the booth next to us. So, well, there's a runner at first either way. Here's Andy Tolkien, the third baseman. Whoops. And that pitch is a ball, 1-0.
Look to see if they get in a curveball count here. The runners start in motion. A lot of speed on both teams.
Not a very big lead for Frasowski at first. 1-0 coming to Tolkien. Is hit back to the backstop. It's 1-1.
So far, Deegan with the high leg kick on the way to the plate, given an opportunity to steal. He may mix it up. They may pitch out here with a 1-1 count.
Deegan looks, and the 1-1 on the way is hit up the middle into center field, base hit. Frasowski will stop at second. Tolkien with a single up the middle, and Clay has first and second with nobody out in the top of the second inning.
Marty, interesting enough, if the runner were going, that might have led them right into a double play. It's fortunate the coach was patient there.
Well, you mentioned our weather as Hunter Alexander, the shortstop, is going to hit. It rained pretty much all night in this area. Really hard for the most part, between probably about 2 and 6 a.m., and then it's just been kind of light rain on and off. But the forecast for this afternoon is for heavy thunderstorms, about a 60-70% chance of rain. So we may be playing as long as we can today before the rains come. Right now, it's very cloudy, very overcast, but if it's raining, it's very light. Can't really see it as Hunter Alexander takes the first pitch for a ball, 1-0.
Well, with no outs, a premium on getting your runner to third base with less than 2 outs. There's a very good chance that we'll try to execute a bunt play, sacrificing the runner, moving the runners up. Several defensive configurations here. Most of the time, early in the game, third baseman will stay back, force the pitcher to cover. And there's a bunt right back toward the pitcher. He looks and goes to first, gets the safety out.
He looked to third, but really no play there as the second baseman comes over to cover. The sacrifice goes 1-4 for Alexander. The runners move up to second and third with 1 out. So that'll give Jordan DeSuyo, the second baseman, a chance to bring in a run.
The scoreboard's still not indicating whether we had an error on that earlier.
It was a hit.
It was given a hit.
So 2 hits in the inning for Clay. And I thought that might be the case, as Frasowski probably was going to beat that throw, or was going to be close. Infield comes in for Ponte Vedra now at first and third. And the first pitch is in the dirt to DeSuyo. It's 1-0.
Nice block there with the runner at third. Every run that can score without a hit is a premium. So the catcher did a great job blocking that ball.
This is the spring training home of the New York Mets and the regular season home of the St. Lucie Mets of the Florida State League, who are on a 9-day road trip, thanks to the finals, to Lakeland and Daytona. Pitches in for a strike on a breaking ball. Good pitch by Deegan. It's 1-1. And the field has definitely got to be wet. We had a lot of rain overnight. The grounds crew did a great job to get us really going on time today with all the rain we've had. I expect more today, and tomorrow is expected to be very rainy as well. Apparently we've had the rainy season now just in time for the baseball finals, when we don't need them. We need the rain in the state of Florida, don't get me wrong. 1-1 the count with 1 out. Second and third for Clay. And the 1-1 Ooh, did it hit him? No, it was fouled off. It was up on the bat of DeSuyo, and he fouled it off. It's 1-2. These two teams were in a district the last 2 years together, Clay and Ponte Vedra. A 9-team district. In fact, 5 of those teams from that old 9-team district made it to the regionals this year. So talk about some tough teams to deal with.
This batter right here is a clutch player in my experience. Wouldn't be surprised if he shoots one through the drawn-in infield right here.
He stays alive, does DeSuyo. It's 1-2 now as he fouls it off right at the plate.
Jordan DeSuyo, one of the smaller players on the field, but the biggest heart.
I was going to say, listed at 5'7". For Clay. I'm into the dimensions. 410 to straightaway center, 338 down the lines. You really have to hit the ball well to get it over that center field fence. Popped up, and this is going to be in foul territory. Coming over is the first baseman for Ponte Vedra. And the catch is made there by Ryan Tiefer, and that's a big second out as DeSuyo pops up to Tiefer. 2 outs now, and the runners stay at second and third.
Well, all you can do as you go back to the dugout after popping up like that is hope your teammate picks you up. With 2 outs, you're looking for something with the wet field on the ground, force them to make a play. You're probably going to have the runners going on contact. Unfortunately, that's a wasted opportunity if they can't get a clutch 2-out hit here.
So 2 outs, runners are at second and third. And that'll bring up Austin Wilson, the catcher for Clay. And pitch is hit in. Oh, what a play at second base. Backhands, throws to first in time. Max Miller up the middle, saves 2 runs there for Ponte Vedra. I thought it was going to get through. It was hit very hard by Wilson. But a great play by Miller. And he throws out Wilson 4-3 to end the top of the second for Clay. What a play to save 2 runs for Ponte Vedra.
Without 2 outs, that infielder would have been in by the grass. Would have gotten by him.
No runs on 2 hits, no errors, 2 left on base. We go to the bottom of the second. No score between Clay and Ponte Vedra here on the FHSAA network. All right, we go to the bottom of the second. Ponte Vedra now back to the plate as Clay got 2 on in the top of the second. Back to second and third with 1 out, but couldn't get the run home. And the inning ends as Max Miller robs Austin Wilson. The shot up the middle throws him out to end the inning, and Clay leaves 2 on base. Marty Paulman being joined today by Mark Shamak, who will be with us for most of the week, I guess, here in Port St. Lucie. Mike Rideout will be joining you for Game 2 as we move over to Class 6A at 1 o'clock, Pace and Melbourne. Then we'll have another 5A semifinal at 4 o'clock. I'll be back for that game, Tampa Jesuit and Plantation American Heritage, and Mike will have the 7 o'clock game tonight in 6A between Lakewood Ranch and Archbishop McCarthy. First pitch to Max Miller is inside, 1-0. So we always say this, how often do you see it in baseball? Guy makes a great play, and then he leads off the next inning at the plate.
Truly seems to happen more often than you can imagine. And Miller, big play. We'll see how that proceeds throughout the game. But had there been 1 out, they would have been up on the edge of the grass. That ball would have rocketed past him. But because he was back, he made a great diving play and did compose himself and throw the man out.
1-1 the count to Miller. That's in for a strike from Dunning, and it's 1-2.
Outfield played relatively shallow. You got a big ballpark here, 338 down the lines in both corners, 410 all the way to dead center.
1-2 to Miller is hit up the middle. The shortstop has it, moving to his left. Throw across. Ooh, close play at first. But in time, the throw from Hunter Alexander gets Miller. And that's one out here in the bottom of the second. Close play, though. Miller made it close over there at first.
You can tell every one of these ball players is giving it everything they got on every at-bat, every play. The hustle factor is off the charts here.
So one out. Here is Nathan Roquiz, the shortstop. So we hope to get our games in today. Roquiz, a senior, a second-year starter, started at third base last year. Now the shortstop chops it to third. And on the first pitch, the play made over there by Tolkien. He throws him out in time as Roquiz is out. 5-3, quickly 2 outs as Dane Dunning set down the first 5 Ponte Vedra hitters in order.
He's not overpowering, but he's keeping the ball, mixing speeds, keeping them off balance.
Well, the good news for these players is it's not raining hard. There's no lightning in the area. It's cloudy, but it's only 73 degrees. So that's nice. Could be very warm this time of year at 10 a.m. or 10:30 as we are right now. Here is Walker Scheller, the DH.
The wind is blowing pretty good out from right to left field. So if a ball's hit hard to left field in the gap, it'll have legs.
1-0 the count to Scheller. And hits a fly ball into center field. That'll back up the center fielder some. Was playing way in, but backing up, making the play is Jeremy Foy. And it's a 1-2-3 inning again as Dunning has set down the first 6 Ponte Vedra hitters in order. Through 2 innings of play, no score between Clay and Ponte Vedra in our 5A state semifinal. Here from Digital Domain Park in Port St. Lucie, you're watching the 2012 Class 5A semifinals on the FHSAA network. As you see the flags and the wind, it's pretty windy here in Port St. Lucie as we start this morning here in the 5A semifinals. No score though between Clay and Ponte Vedra. First pitch is hit by Jake Altman to third, and the throw made across by Brett Poling in time, and that's 1 out as Altman grounds out on the first pitch. And we've seen both teams going after that first pitch a lot, and Clay with 2 hits, Ponte Vedra with none so far as we play the top of the third. So here is the back to the top of the order, Wes Weeks, the left fielder who struck out looking to lead off the game. And the first pitch misses outside 1-0. It's not a bad crowd for 10:30 in the morning. Pretty early start. We'll see more people come in as the day goes on. 1-0 hit to short. And across is the throw by Roquiz. Nice dig by Tiefer at first, and it's quickly 2 outs. Well, these 2 teams hitting a lot of ground balls too early in this game.
It is a pattern, and it is a good pattern for the pitchers.
Deegan allowed back-to-back singles to start the second. He's now retired the last 5 in a row.
See if the pitcher can help himself here at the plate.
And Dunning, who grounded out to third his first time up 0 for 1, takes the first pitch outside for a ball, and it's 1-0.
Clay electing to designated hit for their center fielder, whereas Ponte Vedra is batting for their pitcher.
And that's hit foul. It's 1-1. 2 outs, nobody on here in the bottom of the third, or top of the third. As swinging through that pitch is Dunning, and it's now 1-2.
Hate to belabor the weather again, but it is almost like we have a calm before the storm going on right now. It is no rain, but overcast every direction you look.
Low and outside 2-2. Is expected to return this afternoon and be much stronger thunderstorms and harder rain than we've had so far today. Here's the 2-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Second strikeout for Matt Deegan. He had 1 in the first, gets 1 in the third, and Clay quickly goes 1-2-3 in the top of the third. So no score in our 5A semifinal here from Digital Domain Park in Port St. Lucie. You are watching the 2012 FHSAA Baseball Finals on the FHSAA Network. Back in 1 minute.
Patios and spas. The perfect people for a perfect pool. Sports Authority, your baseball authority. Alford, makers of official FHSAA championship rings. Glossy Finish, the official photographer of the FHSAA. Field Turf, the ultimate surface experience. Florida Virtual School, online education. Anytime, any place, any path, any pace. Sun Sports at FSN Florida, the exclusive television homes for the FHSAA Finals. And Bright House Sports Network, the official cable partner of the FHSAA. And Bannon, who supply the official baseball for the 2012 FHSAA Finals.
You're not live. My bad.
All right, we go to the bottom of the third. Still no score between Clay and Ponte Vedra here in our 5A semifinal. Marty Paulman being joined by Mark Schanbach. And Mark will allow you to give a little bit of background on yourself here in just a moment. As the first pitch to Ryan Tiefer outside for a ball 1-0. Appreciate you being here this week.
Marty, it's a pleasure to be here. Anytime you can watch this level of competition, it's a bonus. My background of leading me to be here and add to this broadcast is that I have watched a lot of these kids grow up through travel ball, but I played college baseball at the highest level, played in a College World Series. I know the pressure that these kids must be feeling. The parents are feeling it even worse, I can promise you.
1-1 the count to Tiefer. Yes, as
got a slight delay as they get a ball off the field down in the corner.
Playing at Valdosta State.
Played there under Coach Tommy Thomas, Hall of Fame coach, and had the pleasure of also playing on a state championship team out in California for Dennis Rogers. So this is very near and dear to me. Watching this brings back great memories of playing in Anaheim Stadium back in the day.
Yeah, the Big A, they used to call it. Now different name. It's still there. 1-1 is in for a strike. It's 1-2. They call it the I forgot the name of it now.
The ballpark of Anaheim or something?
Yeah, something like that. 1-2 the count.
Blowing my camera
Digital Domain Park here is a beautiful venue. We're very happy to be here.
Swing and fouled off at the plate by Tiefer. Remains 1-2. And also, you were the coach at First Academy in Orlando.
For a couple years, I was there and had a great experience. Had to give up coaching while my kids were growing up. I wanted to be able to watch them play. And now my son's a sophomore in high school at Lake Howell High School.
Lake Howell, okay. First Academy is a great sports program there.
Well, it become a very well-known dynasty in several sports. Among
volleyball.
Them, volleyball for the girls.
Here's the 1-2 to Tiefer. Ooh, called strike 3. Tiefer backed away as if it was coming up in him, trying to up on him. And a good pitch there by Dunning. That's his second strikeout. And 1 out here to the third.
Marty, interesting contrast in styles of our two pitchers. Deegan, more of a power pitcher, likes to go inside. Dunning, changing speeds, keeping people off balance, nibbling at corners.
Well, Mark will be with us here most of the week, I guess, or as long as he wants to be here.
Weather permitting, I'll be here, Marty.
There's the strike, 0-1 to Alex Willich, the catcher. No, that's a big if. Big question right now, weather permitting. 1 out, nobody on. It's 0-1 to Willich. Ponte Vedra Still looking for its first base runner of the game. Dunning is looking good right now. That pitch just misses outside, though. It's 1-1.
Well, you know, anytime you come to the state tournament, you know there's a possibility of seeing something special. It's a little early to mention it, but Ponte Vedra is looking for their first hit. First base runner as well.
Strike on the outside corner, 1-2. Brett Poling, the third baseman, on deck. They got 2 on in the second, left. Both runners stranded at second and third. 1-2 is up high. Now it's 2-2. Willich waits the 2-2 pitch and hits one foul off to the right out of play. That remains 2-2. Willich coming in at 268 with 7 RBIs. Ponte Vedra only hit 1 home run as a team this season. They are not going to overpower you. They are a small ball team. Good pitching as well.
There's a downward trend in home runs across the board. Oh, wow, that ball bounced a long ways back. Where did that hit?
In the dirt. It hit right in front of the catcher, went almost back to Dunning, so it's 3-2.
I wonder if that was almost like a highlight cesta flip there from the catcher.
Ponte Vedra pitching this year, a 1.35 team ERA. How about that?
They've got 2 big arms that are going to be tough to beat in any occasion.
If they win today, they expect to pitch Yelverton tomorrow. That is served into right center field for a base hit. There's your first hit of the game.
And there's our first indication of the broadcaster jinx. I mentioned it, and there we go. So Ponte Vedra, you can thank me now. Clay, don't hate me, Clay.
Yeah, Willich stayed with it and was able to just kind of guide it out to right center. We're going to have a runner, courtesy runner for the catcher. Eric Smith, number 18, is going to run it first. So first hit of the game for Ponte Vedra with 1 out in the bottom of the third. Now Brett Poling, the third baseman, hits the number 9 hitter for the Sharks.
This game could turn out to be another 1-run ball game, so they're going to have to try to get a runner in position here, see if they do a hit-and-run action.
And hit foul off to the third base side.
As many ground balls have been hit so far, the way Dunning is keeping the ball down, there's not as much of a chance of a line drive double play if you put the runner in motion here.
Ponte Vedra's first season, they were 12-15 in 2009, finished third in the district tournament. Then in 2010, 18-13. Thus 4A semifinalists lost to Jesuit that year. As Poling went around, the ball though gets away from Austin Wilson, and down to second goes Eric Smith.
Good read on the ball by the base runner. Ball in the dirt, got a little extra. Once he realized the catcher couldn't find the ball, took off and stole the bag.
In 2011, Ponte Vedra 16-11, finished third again in the district tournament. This year, back to the state semifinals with a record of 20-8. They were also district champs. So now the runner's at second with 1 out. But here's the 0-2. That is right down the middle for called strike 3.
That ball had a good run, late run, caught the inside corner, and froze the hitter. The catcher kind of deked him by setting up outside. That ball ran back in over the inside corner.
So 3 strikeouts for Dunning, 2 in the inning. And with 2 outs back to the top of the order, Jake Jacob, the center fielder, who grounded to third, leading off the game. Runner at second base with 2 outs for the Sharks.
Well, as many baseball games are won, 2-out hits become golden here, looking for a RBI situation.
Dunning looks to second, looks back to second. And the first pitch is a little bit inside, 1-0.
Don't underestimate Dunning's fastball. I'm not saying he's not capable of throwing hard, but he has quite a repertoire of different pitches that he's throwing up there.
Jake Jacobs had 361 coming in, with 5 RBIs, 30 hits, and 20 runs scored. Now they'll try to throw. There's nobody there. It goes into center field, but good job.
Many times you'll see your leadoff hitters not have a lot of RBIs because high school baseball, a lot of times you're not seeing as many runners on base when you come up there as a leadoff. But 20 runs scored, that's a lot of runs for a high school player.
Dane Dunning needs to settle down a little bit there, as Hunter Alexander wasn't even near second. Dunning threw the ball anyway. Luckily, his center fielder Foy was right there to back it up, so nowhere for Eric Smith to go. Got a pretty good lead at second, though.
Foy with wheels, playing shallow in center.
1-0 is hit to first. Nice play on the backhand over there by the first baseman for Soski. Tough hobby, steps on first for the out, and that ends the third for Ponte Vedra. No runs in the inning. They do get their first hit, and they leave a runner on base to the Sharks. We go to the fourth. No score between Clay and Ponte Vedra in this 5A semifinal. You're watching the 2012 FHSAA Baseball Finals on the FHSAA Network.
As a contest official, opportunities are available for both students and adults to get back to the sports you love by refereeing or umpiring contests in a variety of sports, including baseball.
Clay with no runs on 2 hits and no errors through the first 3 innings. Ponte Vedra with no runs, 1 hit, and no errors through 3. Clay with 2 singles in the second, and we will go ahead and take it to the break here in Port St. Lucie here on the FHSAA Network.
Of your team from your seat. Use your iPhone, turn on your Wi-Fi settings, choose Photo Viewer, and follow the directions. Leading off for Clay, right fielder number 32, Dakota Higdon.
All right, welcome back as we go to the top of the fourth. Dakota Higdon will lead it off, fouls it back to the backstop. 3, 4, and 5 for Clay here in the top of the fourth. Marty Paulman and Mark Schambeck with you from Digital Domain Park in Port St. Lucie.
Well, Deegan is pitching a gem of a game right now, and he is bearing down on that inside corner. Got a foul ball.
Boy, that was a shot fouled over to the left out of play, and it's 0-2 as see some of the teams down there waiting to play this afternoon.
Deegan
in the game.
Deegan's just a junior, but he had championship experience, pitched as a freshman in the championship game in 2010.
0-2 foul back to the screen and remains 0-2. Yes, Deegan, part of that team that made it to the Final Four a couple years ago.
His fastball's 85, 86 on a regular basis, touches 89.
As Higdon fouls it off again to the right and remains alive, 0-2. So Clay with 2 hits, Ponte Vedra with 1, no score in the top of the fourth. Getting a little bit lighter here now. Maybe see the sun even here if we're lucky. 73 degrees according to the scoreboard out in left center field as pitch misses outside from Deegan's 1-2. It's the 4th year we've had these baseball finals here in Port St. Lucie. 1-2 hit down the left field line, moving over there in fair territory, making the catch.
It's a rare fly ball.
Yeah, it's Chase Jackson Johnson makes the play. It's 1 out in the 4th. In fact, let's see. We've had, that's the first one of the game for Clay. Everything else has been a ground ball. And for Ponte Vedra, they have had 1 as well. So you're right. Very rare to see that so far in the game. 1 out. Here's Jake Frasowski. He singled to lead off the second, was left stranded at third base. And he'll foul that back to the backstop. It's 0-1. First of 4 games today here from Port St. Lucie at 1 o'clock. We'll move over to Class 6A as Pace will take on Melbourne. Melbourne will probably be a pretty good crowd, not far up the road here, less than an hour or so.
One of the closest participants to this venue.
And that's in for a strike as well, quickly 0-2. Melbourne, and also a couple up the road as well. New Smyrna Beach, right up I-95. And another one hit into right field for Soski's 2 for 2. He gets a solid single into right field, and he has a 1-out hit here in the top of the 4th.
Now that was a legit hit. I still argue that the first hit that he got was a little suspect.
Well, his first hit, he hit it over to the first baseman, and Tiefer made the play, tried to flip it to Deegan, flipped it behind him, and they called it a hit. It was going to be close at first.
Hey, they all look like line drives later on.
Here's Andy Tolkien. He singled as well in the second, 1 for 1. So 3 hits now for Clay as the first pitch from Deegan up high for a ball, 1-0.
Well, all the nerves should be settled now. Until you get down to the last few outs, I don't think the nerve factor is going to be a big issue. They're just playing baseball right now, just as if they were back home 30 miles apart from each other.
Deegan looks in, and the 1-0 is hit back to Deegan. Nice play. It could be 2. The second for 1 to first. Oh, it gets away from Tiefer. Here goes Tolkien trying to second. Tiefer slips, and Tolkien will get into second base. And it looked like a tailor-made double play. Deegan made a nice play up the middle, leaping.
Looked like
Rokas at short. Yeah.
Looked like Rokas had time to take another step and get a better throw off. Tried to throw it off at 1 foot. Ball sailed on him a little bit. Great effort on trying to make another pick over there at first base. But now they'll have a runner in scoring position with 2 outs.
So a fielder's choice 1 to 6. The error, though, on the shortstop will move the runner over to second base. So first error of the game for either team on Rokas. 2 outs. And here is Hunter Alexander, the shortstop, who sacrificed in the second. No official at bat today.
Marty, interesting scoring note. Had that throw been made in the dirt and they didn't get the second runner, there would have been no error charged. But because he took an extra bag, he does have to be charged with an error.
1-0. That's hit in the left field for a base hit.
We're going to have a play at the plate here.
They're going to hold him up. Yeah, they're going to hold up Tolkien at third. Maybe a good idea. It's a good throw in from the left fielder, Johnson. That ball was also hit so well, it might have been tough to score him. Well, Alexander with a hit, first and third with 2 outs.
2 hard hit balls in this inning. Coach had to make a split decision. The ball was hit extremely hard and the outfield was shallow. So good call by third base coach.
So now 4 hits for Clay, 2 in the second, 2 here in the fourth. And now with 2 outs, Jordan DeSuyo again will have a chance to bring in a run. He, back in the first inning, the second inning, popped up with runners at second and third and 1 out.
Well, DeSuyo runs well. He's also a soccer player. Started as a freshman on the soccer team. Ironically, we'll see if there's a possibility of a bunt play in action here, even with 2 outs.
And that's a breaking pitch. Good pitch by Deegan. In for a strike. He gets ahead 0-1.
DeSuyo hoping to make amends for his last at bat right here. Looking for a pitch he can probably drive through that right side.
0-1 and is swing and a miss with a fastball by Deegan, and now it's quickly 0-2.
Well, he got the pitch, but it looked like he tried to yank it a little bit. Shortstop's covering the bag. It looks like they've switched up coverages. Shortstop playing very close to second base.
Deegan looks in. There goes the runner at first. Just a little bit outside.
Little indifference there. No throw down to second base with the steal attempt.
Well, it's 1-2, and I think Deegan thought that was strike 3.
It's pretty close. From up here, there's no way of telling, but there's a lot of crowd noise.
So Alexander to second. The 1-2 is swing and a miss. DeSuyo winning a pitch outside the strike zone, and Deegan pitches out of another jam here in the top of the fourth. Clay leaves 2 more on. DeSuyo 0 for 2 today. No runs in the inning on 2 hits. There was 1 error, 2 runners left on base, but still no scores. We go to the bottom of the fourth in this 5A semifinal between Clay and Ponte Vedra. You're watching the 2012 FHSAA Baseball Finals here on the FHSAA Network. Back to Port St. Lucie in 60 seconds. Welcome back to Port St. Lucie at Digital Domain Park. We go to the bottom of the fourth of our first 5A semifinal game of the day. And our first game of the week here in the 2012 FHSAA Baseball Finals. No score between Clay and Ponte Vedra. Marty Paulman along with Mark Schambach joining you this morning here on the FHSAA Network. 2, 3, and 4 for the Sharks of Ponte Vedra. Jackson Johnson bunting, and it just rolls foul.
Got a very unfortunate kick off the edge of the grass there. That was a perfect bunt until it hit the little ridge and took a right-hand turn.
And boy, if that had stayed on the grass, that's a definite hit. And once it hit on the dirt there, it just rolled foul. Johnson 0 for 1 today, trying to bunt to get something going for Ponte Vedra. The Sharks only had one base runner. That was Alex Willich's single in the third. Eric Smith was left stranded at second. Ponte Vedra with 1 hit. Clay with 4 hits. And they have stranded 4 runners, 2 in the second, 2 in the fourth. No score between these two teams, though, here in the bottom of the fourth. The 0-1. And Johnson went around as the ball got away. It's now 0-2.
Couldn't check it. Yeah, the MO on Ponte Vedra is definitely speed, and a little more speed. So infielders are always on their toes, waiting to see what's going to happen. 2 strikes here. Now the third baseman's able to back up a little bit.
0-2 is chopped to second again. Oh,
Ooh.
tough play off the edge of the grass, and the second baseman is down over there. As that's Jordan DeSuyo, and you can see that hit the edge of the grass, took a strange bounce, and I think he may have hurt himself trying to dive for that one. That's going to be his hit for Jackson Johnson, an infield single.
He's holding his hip like he might have hyperextended or done something.
That's what happens, though, when you get a bounce like that. He's expecting a normal bounce, either off the dirt or the grass, and it hits the edge of the grass and just takes a strange bounce, and he has to kind of extend himself forward, and that may be exactly what happened. So Jackson Johnson's going to be at first base with nobody out here in the bottom of the fourth. Second hit of the game for Ponte Vedra.
Well, the Lord giveth and the Lord taketh away. The edge of the grass cost him a base hit earlier, and it gave it back to him right there.
True. Well, we'll hope to see if DeSuyo's okay. He's being looked at over at second base. But again, as we will move on later today into Class 6A coming up at 1 o'clock, should be an interesting game between Pace, they were the state champs a couple of years ago. Last year's state semifinalists will take on Melbourne.
We got a couple players warming up in case DeSuyo needs to come out of the game. Number 21 is throwing on the side with number 39. Who we got there?
21 and 39. That would be Clarence Chandler, number 21, and A.J. Browning, number 39. DeSuyo was going to try and stay in this game.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to shake it off. He just took a spill. He's going to try to run on it.
In this game, it's going to probably take a little bit more than that to get him out of there.
Absolutely.
The winner of this game will play tomorrow at 4:05 for the 5A state championship against the winner of our semifinal this afternoon, coming up at 4 o'clock between Tampa Jesuit and Plantation American Heritage.
DeSuyo has an older brother that came through this program that's played at Florida State College in Jacksonville, was a starting shortstop, was supposed to be the second baseman, took over the shortstop role when their starting shortstop went out. So the family is definitely baseball diehards. It is going to take a lot more than just that little play to get him off the field.
So that'll bring up Perry Orth, the right fielder. Orth 0 for 1. He struck out back in the first. Infield will come in the third. Maybe expecting a bunt from Orth. Perry Orth at 385 with 8 RBIs, 32 hits and 12 runs scored, 6 doubles for Ponte Vedra. And that's a strike on the inside corner from Dane Dunning. It's 0-1. Dunning, through 3 innings, has 3 strikeouts, no walks. He's allowed 2 hits and no runs. See Tom Stanton down at the third base coach's box. The head coach of the Ponte Vedra Sharks. His 4th season.
Wind appears to be picking up a little bit, Marty.
Yeah, it really is. And the sun looked like it was coming out. It's clouded up a little bit again here in Port St. Lucie as we approach an hour in this game. Hit up the middle, but a good bounce for DeSuyo. He got to throw to second, throw to first, in time, double play. That ball was hit sharply, but it went right off the pitcher's mound, right into the hands of DeSuyo, and it was a tailor-made double play from there with a flip to Alexander at short. Good throw to first in time. A 4-6-3 double play erases the Ponte Vedra runner here in the bottom of the fourth.
Nice recovery by DeSuyo. Looks like he's still moving a little gingerly out there, but he sure didn't show any signs of it during that play.
So now 2 outs, nobody on for Ponte Vedra. Here's Max Miller, the second baseman, who is 0 for 1 with a ground out to short. He made a play back in the second inning that saved a couple runs.
I mentioned Dasuyo's got an older brother playing. Our pitcher, Dane Dunning's also got an older brother who's in the San Francisco Giants organization, Jake Dunning. Throws 92, and Dunning is looking to follow in his older brother's footsteps hopefully someday.
Max Miller entered the game at .361 with 10 RBIs, 26 hits, 14 runs scored. Count 1-0 to Miller, and he chops it foul over by third base. It's 1-1. Miller went to his right up the middle back in the second to rob Austin Wilson of what probably would have been a 2 RBI single, and that's another reason why this game is still tied here in the bottom of the fourth.
Not always that common. You see a second baseman hitting in the 4-hole, but Miller had a slight shoulder problem earlier in his battling back and has fallen into the comfort zone in that second base role. Still probably hits like a corner infielder, but can play the middle infield.
A little bit outside, it's 2-1. Nathan Rokiz on deck, but there are 2 outs. Nobody on now. And chop down the third base side. Going to have to hurry, and a double clutch with a throw in time. Andy Tolkien kind of double clutched the throw, but he's still able to get Miller by about half a step, and that'll end the bottom of the fourth for Ponte Vedra. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, a double play, so there were no runners left on base. And we go to the fifth. Still no score in this Class 5A semifinal between Clay and Ponte Vedra here on the FHSAA network. We will return to Port St. Lucie in just a moment from Digital Domain Park in Port St. Lucie.
Leading off for the Blue Devils, catcher number 1, Austin Wilson.
Welcome back to Port St. Lucie. We go to the top of the fifth. Clay will have 8, 9, and 1 coming up. As Austin Wilson, the catcher, leading off for the Blue Devils. He's 0 for 1 with a ground out to second in the second inning, facing Matt Deegan. And popped up on the infield. Looks like another play for the second baseman Miller, and he'll make it on the infield dirt. 1 out, quickly 1 out. As again, Dane Dunning and Matt Deegan continue to match zeros on the scoreboard for Clay and Ponte Vedra.
Hitter, number 17, James Altman.
Well, Clay has never been accused of being a power hitting team, so it's going to take them stringing together a few opportunities like a walk, an error, and then maybe a bingle single, one of those little bloopers to drive in a run here.
And the first pitch to Altman has popped up. Deegan, the pitcher, will make the play in fair territory, and 2 pitches, 2 outs. Doesn't get much easier than that as Altman, the DH, pops up to Deegan. Well, we talked about Ponte Vedra has hit only 1 home run all year. Clay actually has hit 12, so they got a little more power. Ponte Vedra's going to probably small ball.
In high school baseball, you have to look at sometimes what ballpark do players play at and what are their opponents' ballparks at, because you could have some ballparks that are 300 down the line and 385 to dead center, and then other ballparks are drastically larger. You got some that blow in, some that blow out. So deceiving stats can happen in high school baseball, but 12 home runs is respectable for sure.
Wes Weeks was talking it over with his coach Rob Thompson. And the first pitch up high, 1-0. Weeks is 0 for 2. He struck out and grounded to short.
And Marty, you have the stats there. How many ball players constituted those 12 home runs?
There's the 1-0, a little bit low, and it's 2-0. 338 down the line in left field. here at Digital Domain Park. It's also 338 down the right field line and 410 to straightaway center. And I'll answer your question as Hunter Alexander has 4, Dakota Higdon with 3, Jake Altman with 2, Austin Wilson with 2, and Dane Dunning with 1. So 5 guys.
That's pretty well spread out.
Pitch misses low for a ball, 3-1. I mean, look where the outfield's played too. The center fielder is probably halfway, almost closer to the infield he is to the center field fence. It's 410 feet to straightaway center here.
Yeah, I believe you're right. If you drew a tape from the outfield warning track to the infield dirt, it would be about the same distance.
3-1 hit to second. Miller makes the play, and again Clay goes 1-2-3 as Deegan. It's interesting, Deegan in the first, third, and the fifth has set down Clay 1-2-3. In the second and the fourth, he's given up 4 hits, but he's worked out of the jams. Still no score as we go to the bottom of the fifth of this 5A semifinal here from Digital Domain Park in Port St. Lucie. We'll return to Port St. Lucie in just a moment. You're watching the 2012 FHSAA Baseball Finals here on the FHSAA Network. You see the numbers on your screen there. No runs, 4 hits, no errors for the Clay Blue Devils, who have left 4 on base. No runs, 2 hits, 1 error for Ponte Vedra, who's left 1 on base. Marty Paulman, Mark Schenbach back here at Digital Domain Park in Port St. Lucie. Our first of 24 games this week in the 2012 FHSAA Baseball Finals. This is our first 5A semifinal game. And for Ponte Vedra, Nathan Roquez, the shortstop, will lead off the bottom of the fifth. First pitch outside, 1-0. We were talking during the break, Mark, about Ponte Vedra. Their road to Port St. Lucie included a 3-2 win in 9 innings over Paxton, a 2-1 win in 9 innings over West Florida in the regional final. The regional quarterfinal, they won in 9 innings, and then the regional semis 4-2 over Bishop Kinney, as that hit him. Then Clay beat Palaca 5-1, Creekside 1-0, and Hernando 4-2. So both these teams, not only do they play close games, they're low-scoring games, and we're seeing that so far. You wonder if that hit batter may come back to haunt Dane Dunning, though, as he had not walked or hit a batter so far today.
Well, Dunning got out of a runner on with no outs with a ground ball double play last inning. We'll see if he can turn another deuce here.
Yeah, Roquez hit in the back. Here's Walker Scheller, the DH, who flew to center his first at bat, 0 for 1. Shows bunt and pulls it back and takes a strike, 0-1. Ponte Vedra, though, 2 9-inning games. You wonder if that's possibly a preview of what we might see today. Maybe another extra inning game for Ponte Vedra.
Looks like Coach Stanton may not let the double play happen here if he's going to bunt. No, he's
there goes the
away.
runner, and Scheller swung at it, and it's a strike, but the runner will get to second base as the ball got away from Wilson, and a good job by Scheller of swinging at that one, as it allows Roquez to take second with nobody out.
Good choice, good running count, pick the curveball count, and set the runner in motion. Looked like he might have swung at that just to cover up.
Yeah.
Not a hit and run per se.
So, but now it is 0-2 to Scheller. That pitch was way outside the strike zone. So now Scheller behind 0-2. Dunning looks to second, and then timeout taken.
It's tough to ask a guy to bunt with an 0-2 count. Looking for a ground ball to the right side, looking for anything on the outside half. If I'm pitching right here, I'm pounding the inside corner, forcing him to pull the ball.
So Dunning looks in, and the 0-2 on the way. Ooh, just a little bit outside. It's 1-2.
Well, he's got some room to work with. Dunning is cunning, pardon the pun.
1-2. Oh, breaking pitch just a little bit inside. It's 2-2. Made Schiller back off a bit, but Dunning almost brought it back for a strike.
A good two-strike pitcher here would be come back with another breaking ball in the inner half. Force that guy to hit the weak ground ball to third, holding that runner there.
Runners at second with nobody out there. Oh, they had him picked off, but the throw was behind DeSuyo, and Dunning waited, and really nobody was covering second, and luckily DeSuyo was able to come over and cut that one off.
Well, Marty, a pitcher can make that move just to freeze that runner, whether he throws it or not. He's not obligated to make that throw. That was a dangerous throw right there. Could have given up a free base.
So now the 2-2 again as Dunning looks to second. And the pitch on the way is Schiller missed the bunt, and that's strike 3. I don't know, a little surprised he tried to bunt with 2 strikes, but 4th strikeout now for Dane Dunning, and that'll give you 1 out here in the bottom of the 5th for Ponte Vedra.
It'd be interesting later on to talk to Coach if there was a missed sign there. I think they're talking about it right now, trying to make sure they iron it out, whether or not he really did have a bunt sign or whether it was a bluff or a wipe-off that he missed.
So 1 out. Here is Ryan Tiefer, who struck out looking back in the 3rd. And the first pitch misses for a ball, 1-0.
I see a little sun poking out of the clouds here.
Yeah, it's lightened up a little bit here. Still pretty windy. The 1-0 instead. Dunning again looks to run it back to second.
2 types of moves. There's a timing move where everybody's moving at the same time, and then there's that deception move where the high leg kick, you swivel what they call to the inside toward the bag, and you can choose to throw or not throw.
Tiefer checks the swing, and it's 2-0.
The only base the right-hander has to throw to without stepping off the rubber is first base.
Got our laps for the next game here already. We're well ahead of ourselves for the next one.
At this pace, things are moving.
Yeah.
It's nice to have somebody on the ball helping us out. Thank you very much.
No pace, no pun intended. They'll be playing the next game.
Boy, you talk about a long haul. You cannot come any further than Pace has. Well, unless the games were in Key West, then
Exactly.
Pace has come to this ball game. They're definitely get the award for furthest traveled.
And Melbourne probably is the closest. Maybe an hour or less up the road. 2-1 is in for a strike, 2-2 as Dunning comes back and evens up the count against Tiefer. On deck, Alex Willich, the catcher for Ponte Vedra. Runner still at second with 1 out. And we're just a little bit inside, and 3-2 now the count at Spole.
Fortunately for Pace, they didn't get the early game since they would also be losing an hour in time sleep, moving from west to east.
3-2 on the way from Dunning, and there's called strike 3. Tiefer threw his bat, thought it was ball 4. Called a strike on the outside corner, and back-to-back strikeouts for Dunning. He now has 5 in the game, 2 outs now, with that runner still at second base.
Well, I'd like to see a replay on that one someday, but Dunning was the benefactor of a upper borderline high strike call on that one right there.
Upper borderline. Yeah, like
I'm trying to be kind.
Yeah.
But it looked like a ball.
Here is Willits now, the catcher. He singled in the 3rd for the first hit of the game for Ponte Vedra. On the outside corner for a strike, it's 0-1. Dunning, well, he's looked good since that runner got down to second base with nobody out. Had a strikeout in the 1st, 2 in the 3rd, and 2 here in the 5th. Oh, and instead Dunning looks again the runner back to second. That is Rokiz down at second base. He was hit by a pitch, stole second. But
Well,
Scheller and Tiefer have struck out.
As can happen, many times your unsung heroes are going to come out of the bottom of the order. Is a great opportunity right here. There's a foul ball.
And 0-1 is fouled off to the right out of play, and so in 2.
Willich, the catcher, one of the many catchers by committee that Ponte Vedra uses.
So 0-2 the count. Willits trying to stay alive here against Dane Dunning. 0-2 is chopped slowly to short, but the throw across in time made by Hunter Alexander, and Dunning gets out of the bottom of the 5th.
Worked out of another jam.
So a leadoff hit batter. The runner gets to second with nobody out, but then back-to-back strikeouts on the ground out. Ponte Vedra leaves a runner on base. No runs, no hits, no errors, 1 left on. We go to the 6th in our 5A semifinals. Still no score between Clay and Ponte Vedra. Our first of 2 5A semifinals, first of 4 games today here on the FHSAA Network. You're watching the 2012 FHSAA Baseball Finals from Digital Domain Park in Port St. Lucie here on the FHSAA Network. Back in 1 minute.
Thank you for your cooperation.
Welcome back to Port St. Lucie as we go to the top of the 6th. No score in our first game of the day, still between Clay and Ponte Vedra in our 5A semifinal matchup here on the FHSAA Network. Clay High out of Green Cove Springs in Clay County, Northeast Florida. And meanwhile, in neighboring St. Johns County right next door, that's where Ponte Vedra comes from, a 4th-year school there, a couple miles down the road from TPC at Sawgrass, where they just had a big golf tournament last weekend. So newer school is Ponte Vedra High School, and they play in the district with Nice High. Nice High School was in there this year.
In fact, I talked to the coach from Nice. He was very complimentary of both these ball clubs. Said both teams play the game right, and that means they don't give up free bases. They make all the routine plays, and it's a tribute to both teams that a rival coach would give him such kudos.
Ponte Vedra beat East to win their district title. Clay beat Creekside. It's another St. Johns County school to win that district title. It's fouled off by Dunning. Dunning's 0 for 2, the pitcher for Clay High School.
Dunning, a big 6'4", 187. He's got great projectability beyond the high school level. Probably will be as a pitcher, but don't tell him that.
Ponte Vedra, the champs of District 4. Clay was the District 5 champion. As it's fouled back to the backstop, and it's back to our right, pardon me. It's 1-2. And Ponte Vedra, winner of Region 1. Clay won Region 2. Coming up today in our other 5A semifinal as Dunning fouls it off to the left. Tampa Jesuit ranked number 1 in the country. American Heritage Plantation number 6, according to some polls. So that should be a good ball game. They play the winner of this game tomorrow night for the winner of that game for the 5A championship, actually tomorrow afternoon at 4:05. 1-2 is in the dirt. It's 2-2 as Matt Deegan. Antonian on the mound for the Ponte Vedra Sharks.
Well, Clay's got to be thinking we just need a base runner. If he can work this count to a full count, find his way on any way he can. But not to happen.
Swing and a miss by Dunning.
Deegan's chalking up a few Ks using that power.
As the 4th strikeout of the day for Deegan. He struck out Dunning twice, got him on a fastball up that time. And it's 1 out in the top of the 6th. Here's Dakota Hickman, the right fielder, is 0 for 2.
Well, the right fielder's making an adjustment. He's starting to back up, seeing Hickman come up.
Pitch misses low and outside, 1-0. And again, a strike now. It's 1-1. This should be the way things have been going for Clay, this should be a good inning for them. They had 2 hits in the 2nd, 2 in the 4th. Went 1, 2, 3 in the first, third, and the fifth. So it's the sixth. It's an even numbered inning, and there you go. Base hit to center field. Funny, isn't it?
All right, we're tied 1-1. Well, the left-handed batters seem to be faring very well against Deegan. The right-handed fastball tends to run in on a right-handed hitter, making it difficult to hit. Speeds the ball up. That ball lays out over the plate for the lefties, though, and allows them to drive the ball.
And here is another left-handed hitter for Sosky. He's 2 for 2 today. Infield hit, and he hit one out to right field the second time up and was forced down on the base paths. 1 out. That's the 5th hit of the game for Clay. This is a little low, 1-0. The Clay Blue Devils.
The Sharks from Ponte Vedra in a deadlock 0-0 game right here.
Clay Blue Devils, Ponte Vedra Sharks. 1-0, the count for Sosky. Higdon with not a very big lead, and Deegan throws over anyway.
Well, the outfield's forced to back up. You don't want to give any balls over your head or in the gaps. But if somehow Sosky could shoot one down the left field line, they can run for days. Left fielder playing way off the line.
And the 1-0 now from Deegan is on the outside corner for a strike, 1-1.
Coach from third base flashes some signs. See if a 1-1 count. There's something in motion here. Good chance for a hit and run possibility here.
1-1. And breaking pitch fouled off over to the Clay dugout. It's now 1-2 on deck. Andy Tolkien, the third baseman for Clay.
Well, hits are coming at a premium here, so they're going to have to find a way to manufacture a run somehow.
Go to first. Runner back in. Sliding again. Now 5 hits for Clay, 2 for Ponte Vedra. The only error of the game belongs to the Sharks. Still no score. Then again a throw to first.
Ponte Vedra obviously aware that with this game looking to be a one-run type ball game, they don't want to give up any extra bases. Holding that runner very close, trying to get the double play ball.
Prasowski awaiting the 2-2 again, and the pitch on the way. Hit in the air to center field, and then that'll back up the center fielder a few steps, but he will make the play. That's Jake Jacob out there making the catch, and back to first goes Higdon. Prasowski gave it a ride, but he hit it to the deepest part of the ballpark. Now 2 outs.
It's fortunate for the Sharks that the wind has subdued a little bit right now, and that ball didn't carry nearly as far as I thought it was going to off the bat.
2 outs. Here's Andy Tolkien. Singled in the second into a fielder's choice in the fourth, reached, and was later left stranded on base. So he's 1 for 1 today, 1 for 2 today. Throw again is to first. Deegan keeping track of Dakota Higdon. There goes the runner. Pitch misses for a ball. The throw is not in time, so a stolen base there for Higdon. This time he does get down to second, now with 2 outs. And the count's 1-0 to Andy Tolkien. It's the second stolen base of the day for the Clay Blue Devils. On the outside corner for a strike, 1-1, as Deegan comes right back and throws that pitch on the corner for a strike.
It's going to be interesting to see what happens here if
hit to short, and the play made over there by Rokiz, and throws out Tolkien for the 3rd out in the top of the 6th. So Clay does get a hit in the inning. They strand a runner. They have left 5 on through 6. We go to the bottom of the 6th. Still no score between Clay and Ponte Vedra. Looking for our first run as we're getting late in this game in our first 5A semifinal. You're watching the 2012 FHSAA Baseball Finals on the FHSAA Network. We'll return to Port St. Lucie in 1 minute.
Filter the ultimate surface experience.
And we go to the bottom of the 6th. 1 run might win it. No score between Clay and Ponte Vedra in this 5A semifinal game here on the FHSAA Network. Marty Paulman along with Mark Schambach from Digital Domain Park here at Port St. Lucie, the spring training home of the New York Mets. And
Marty, if Ponte Vedra is going to score, this should be the inning they need to do it. They've got 9-1-2. Their top of the order is coming through.
And leading off for the Sharks is Brett Poling, the number 9 hitter, the third baseman who struck out looking back in the 3rd. Facing Dane Dunning. A little bit outside, 1-0.
Well, now the nerves might start coming back into play. As you get closer and closer to a ball game's completion, suddenly you understand the gravity of every play you make.
Let's foul back to the backstop. It's 1-1. These two teams, Ponte Vedra allowing 5 runs in 3 games in the postseason. Clay allowed 3.
Doesn't take a rocket scientist or a mathematician to figure out why we got a 0-0 ball game right now, does it?
No.
Huh. Well, good pitching, good defense adds up to difficulty in giving up runs.
1-2 is chopped to short. And another good play made on the hop there by Alexander. He throws out Poling. 1 out here in the 6th. And that's usually the way it is. You get some great pitching, you can beat a team that hits the ball really well. And defense as well. We've only had 1 error between the 2 teams in this game, and that was by Ponte Vedra back in the 4th inning, and it didn't lead to anything in the end. Top of the order, Jake Jacob, the center fielder, is 0 for 2.
Well, the third baseman really taking the bunt away. He's 3 steps in on the grass, maybe closer to 5 steps in. First baseman 2 or 3 steps in on the first base side.
Just pitch up and in to Jacob, 1-0.
Middle infield is normal depth. Center fielder extremely shallow.
Gets back to the backstop. It's 2-0.
Third time around for each of these hitters against Dunning. Coach is going out to take a talk. With the 2-0 count, it's time to regroup.
So here comes Thompson.
Marty, we're going to stay with it through the pitching talk. Usually my experience, these are pretty short talks. He's probably just going to say.
Yeah, we'll stay here unless they're going to make a pitching change. And
my estimation is this conversation is going something like, listen, son, you're pitching a great ball game. You can't get behind, though. Just go after these guys. Let your defense do the work. Don't worry about it.
That's exactly probably what that was. It was a very quick conversation between Rob Thompson and his infield. And you're right, 1 walk here, that could be the difference. As we are in the bottom of the 6th.
We haven't had a walk in this game yet, have we? I had a hit by pitch.
Had a hit batter by Dunning, and that was last inning, the 5th, and no, we've had no walks. We've had all singles.
All right, let's
with
see
the hits.
See if the jinx applies again. Nope.
2-0 hit to short. Tough play, and it hops off the glove of Alexander into left field. Alexander tried to backhand it. It was a tough play. We'll see if they give Jacob a hit. He might have beaten it anyway. The leadoff hitter and the center fielder for Ponte Vedra, and I think that may be a single with 1 out here in the bottom of the 6th for Ponte Vedra.
If I'm scoring, that's an error, but the error is because he had to make that backhand play because of the speed that Ponte Vedra puts on the field. It puts pressure on the defense every single ground ball.
The top of the scoreboard here is not working, so we don't really know the error for Pack here in left field. So we'll ask to see if they call that a hit or an error. Jacobs at first with 1 out. Jackson Johnson's 1 for 2 with a single and a ground out. They call that an error. Is that correct?
Yes.
On the shortstop. So each team with an error now. Throw to first, not in time behind Jacob as the pitch to Johnson was a ball, 1-0.
Jacob did the smart thing, diving in, reaching in to the backside of the base, the most difficult tag the first baseman can make.
Infield way in at third, looking for the bunt. That's Andy Tolkien for Clay. And the 1-0 on the way. Pitch misses high and outside, and it's 2-0.
Well,
and once again, Dunning behind.
I mentioned at the beginning of the inning, the closer you get to the latter outs of a ball game, suddenly the nervous factor starts coming into play. A little bit of fatigue could be coming into play with Dunning as well, but more than anything, I think it's going to be a mental thing to drive through and get these last 5 outs.
Throw to first again. Dunning has fallen behind 2-0. Now the last 2 hitters. Jacob reached on the arrow by the shortstop, and that's in for a strike as Johnson pulled the bat back on the bunt. It's 2-1.
Marty, nice job by Dunning on the slide step there. They were anticipating a running count. He got the inside strike, driving his whole body to the plate quickly rather than the high leg kick.
I am Marty Palmer, and that's the voice of Mark Schambach here on the FHSAA Network. We're in the bottom of the 6th, no score between Clay and Ponte Vedra in this 5A semifinal game from Digital Domain Park in Port St. Lucie. The throw to first, not in time, as Jacob back in sliding. 1 run may win this game. In fact, I'm almost fairly certain it's going to. We'll see, though. Still a ways to go. Ponte Vedra trying to get that run across here in the bottom of the 6th.
They're gone.
There he goes. The pitch misses outside for a ball, and the throw gets into center field. Again, a good backup by Foy in center. It's 3-1, but a stolen base for Jacob, and a good call there, Mark. Another steal for Ponte Vedra, their second of the game, as Jacob, their center fielder leadoff hitter, goes. And now he's in scoring position with 1 out. The count's 3-1 to the hitter. But again, good job by the center fielder. That's again the center fielder playing so far in can easily back that play up because it's 410 feet to center field here.
Well, anytime you have speed on the base pass, it puts a lot of pressure on everyone. Even right here, a routine ground ball, if you make a bad throw, that runner's going to score from second base in many cases.
And the 3-1 is outside, ball 4. There's your first walk of the game coming in the 6th inning. Johnson has reached base twice. He goes to first. First and second, 1 out. And now Perry Orth, the right fielder, going to hit for the Sharks.
Well, Perry Orth did not play last year. He was scheduled to be a preferred walk-on at South Carolina as a quarterback. He just loves football, but helping out his teammates, and came back and played his senior year in baseball. And he's an even keel 3-hole hitter, very fast. So if he hits a ground ball, chances of turning a double play here, unless it's a streamlined drive, can be very difficult. Looks like Dunning's going to have to retire 2 more hitters here to end this inning.
Chris Levitt going to run it first for Johnson. So first and second, 1 out. Orth has struck out, grounded into a double play, 4-6-3. He's 0 for 2. Infield in at first and also at third for Clay. Dunning looks to second, and the pitch. That's up high and inside again on Orth, and Dunning falls behind 1-0.
It's not a good sign falling behind the last 3 hitters in a row here, Marty. Wouldn't be surprised if he grooves one right here, and good pitch to hit coming up.
The 1-0 hit up the middle. This might be 2. Steps on second as Alexander. Throw to first in time. A tailor-made 6-3 double play right to the shortstop, Hunter Alexander, and that gets Dane Dunning out of the bottom of the 6th. For the second time today, Perry Orth hits into a double play. No runs, no hits, an error or walk. 2 left on base for Ponte Vedra in the bottom of the 6th. We go to the 7th. No score between Clay and Ponte Vedra here in this 5A semifinal game on the FHSAA Network. We'll be back to Port St. Lucie in 1 minute.
Coming up later today, scheduled 1 p.m. start here.
So much for insight.
It'll be Melbourne versus Pace. At 4 p.m., American Heritage Plantation takes on Tampa Jesuit. And at 7 o'clock p.m., Archbishop McCarthy versus Lakewood Ranch.
Marty Paulman and Mark Schambach back here at Digital Domain Park in Port St. Lucie, the spring training home of the New York Mets. The regular season home of the St. Lucie Mets of the Florida State League. And what a game we have for you here in our first 5A semifinal. No scores. We go to the 7th. We played in an hour and a half so far, and no score. This Hunter Alexander, who just turned the double play to end the bottom of the 6th against Perry Orth, will lead off here in the top of the 7th. He has a sacrifice and a single, so 1 for 1 with a steal today for Hunter Alexander.
Well, Marty, it looks like Coach is going to dance with the ones that brought him here. In lower part of the order, I don't see any pinch hitters getting up swinging a bat, so it's going to be up to the 6, 7, 8, 9 hitters to mount a rally here.
Swing and a miss by Alexander. It's 1-1. 1-1 on the way from Matt Deegan. Hit down the right field line, and in fair territory, making the play out there is the right fielder Perry Orth for the first out in the top of the 7th. Alexander flies out to Orth, which is interesting because he just victimized Orth last inning with turning that double play. So Jordan DeSuyo, the second baseman in the game, still 0 for 2. Kind of hurt himself a little bit back in the 3rd inning. But stayed in the game looking for his first hit. Swung and fouled off over to the Ponte Vedra dugout. It's 0-1.
Well, this is a kid that I've seen play since he was 8 years old, and never seen him come out of a ball game for an injury. I saw him finish a game where he pitched 135 pitches once.
Here's the 0-1 from Matt Deegan, and it's popped up on the infield, and the play will be made over there by the second baseman, Max Miller. Quickly 2 outs as Deegan now is rolling. He's retired 4 in a row. No runs on 5 hits and 1 error for Clay. They've left 5 on base. No runs, 2 hits, 1 error for Ponte Vedra. The Sharks have left 4 on base. And here is Austin Wilson, 0 for 2 today with a grounder to second and a pop to second as well.
Well, if you're Clay, you're thinking, let's just get something on the ground again, see if they have to make a play here.
In the dirt, and it's 1-0.
Which one of these starting pitchers is going to crack first, do you think, Marty?
I can't really tell the difference. It's hard for me to say either way. The 1-1 misses outside, 2-1. Dunning was having some control issues last inning, but Clay seemingly has been able to hit the ball, get a few more better, or a little bit better contact on Deegan.
It would appear Deegan's in cruise control right now, getting 2 quick outs here in the top of the 7th. But the minute you say that, that 2-out bug will bite you.
3-1 is inside. There's the first walk, though, by Deegan now. With 2 outs in the top of the 7th, he walks Austin Wilson.
Well, we'll see if we get a visit from the Ponte Vedra coach now. 2-out walks are a coach's nightmare. You figure you got 2 outs, just make them put the ball in play. Nobody's going to hit the ball out of the yard in this big place.
So 1 walk, 4 strikeouts for Deegan. He's allowed 5 hits and no runs.
Looks like Clay's running number 22, who's not on the roster sheet I have in front of me. Who is that that's courtesy running out there? Or maybe a pinch runner.
Jacob Turner is the runner at first. So he'll be the courtesy runner for the catcher. And the DH, Jake Altman, will hit. He's 0 for 2. Oh, thank you. And Altman fouls it off there, and it's 0-1.
Well, typically when you use a runner as a pinch runner, you're going to put him in motion with 2 outs like this. We'll just see if they pick a curveball pitch right here. Now, there was the curveball, but nobody moving. And it's not like you have a 25-man roster that you got extra guys that you can pluck. So sometimes your younger bench players aren't the most experienced base runners. You might be afraid to put them on a steal mode right here. Who is number 22?
Jacob Turner is running at first. And the 0-2 misses outside, 1-2.
Turner, a big runner, coming off the bench. This could be a great opportunity to get him in scoring position. If he can read the ball in the dirt and move up, put somebody in position to drive him in.
So 1-2 the count. And foul back to the screen.
Deegan trying to punch him out with a fastball inside. Nice job of handling it and fouling it back.
One and two the count. Deegan just issued his first ball. There goes the runner, pitch in the dirt, and they're trying to say that the hitter got around. I don't even think Altman nearly swung, and Turner will get a stolen base. So Turner down to second with 2 outs, so he's in scoring position with a count 2-2 on Jake Allman.
I don't know if you notice how much Jake is choking up on this bat, but he is determined not to let the pitcher beat him with the fastball. He must be choking up 3.5 inches here on the bat.
2-2. Hit high in the air to left field, but again playing in the perfect position is the left fielder Jackson Johnson. He makes the play, and that ends the top of the 7th. So Clay does get a runner with a walk. No runs, no hits, no errors. Another runner left on base. And to the bottom of the 7th we go. Ponte Vedra can win it with 1 run in this 5A semifinal game. No score between Clay and Ponte Vedra. We'll return to Port St. Lucie in just a moment here on the FHSAA Network.
Don't miss any of the action. You can also go to FHSAAsports.com to purchase DVDs from this year's championship.
Marty Palmer with Mark Schambeck back here at Digital Domain Park in Port St. Lucie as we head to the bottom of the 7th. Ponte Vedra will send up hitters 4, 5, and 6. Max Miller, Nathan Roadkiss, Walker Scheller due up against Dane Dunning, and all the Sharks need are 1 run. And they'll move on to the 5A state championship game tomorrow at 4:05 against the winner of our late semifinal game of today between Tampa Jesuit and Plantation American Heritage. Max Miller has 2 ground outs, 1 to third, 1 to short. He's 0 for 2. Ponte Vedra, second baseman. First pitch hit into center. Backing up, and going back. It's going to be a great catch in center field by Jeremy Foy. It looked like at first it might get over his head, but he steadily just kept moving back, and he made the play. If that gets over his head, this game's over.
Foy made that look easy, but that was a tough play. The hardest ball to read is the ball hit straight away right at you on a line. It's hard to tell just how much was, whether it's a low sinking liner. Once he got the read, he turned on the jets and literally used his speed to glide underneath that ball, outreached.
I tell you, if that gets over his head, Miller probably runs all the way home. Way out there in center field. A lot of room out there as the first pitch to Roadkiss is a ball, 1-0. Roadkiss is grounded to short and a third hit by a pitch. But you're right, he looked like he had it all the way, and then in the last second he kind of leaped.
It took every inch he had to make sure he corralled that ball.
1-0 the count. And that's a strike on the outside corner, 1-1. 1 out, nobody on, and we may be here for a little while.
Well, with plays like that, it is going to be a long afternoon.
At 11:45, we're still in the morning here. Hit and foul off to the right side into the seats. It's 1-2. Next game not scheduled until 1 o'clock to start.
Well, I expect each team to scratch and claw. Nobody wants to have the dubious honor of being the first to be sent home.
1-2 is fouled off as Roadkiss stays alive, fouls it back to the backstop, remains 1-2.
Nice change of pace there by Dunning.
And the 1-2 on the way from Dunning. And Roadkiss tried to check his swing. Pitch was outside. They'll ask the first base umpire, no swing. And it's 2-2. Austin Wilson behind the plate for Clay, asking the first base umpire there. 2-2 the count with 1 out. And the pitch. It's chopped to third. Going to be a tough play, and a good throw across though by Andy Tolkien. And Roquez is out number 2 in the bottom of the 7th. So now it'll be up to Walker Scheller to keep the inning going 0 for 2 with a fly to center and a strikeout.
Well, Dunning not out of the woods yet. Giving up the big line drive. Great play in center field. Got one in on the hands there. Now we're 2 outs. That last out of each inning is always the toughest.
One out away from going to extra innings, scoreless. There's a strike to Scheller, 0-1, and neither pitcher really showing any signs of tiring. Matt Deegan for Ponte Vedra and Dane Dunning for Clay High School.
Scheller in there for one reason as a designated hitter, and that is to hit the ball hard.
And he hits it to third, but right there is Tolkien. Throw across in time, and Ponte Vedra goes 1-2-3 here in the 7th. We go to the 8th. Extra innings in our opening game. What do you know? Our opening game of the 2012 FHSAA Baseball Finals will go to the 8th. No score between Clay and Ponte Vedra in our 5A semifinal game here on the FHSAA Network. Back to Digital Domain Park in 60 seconds. Marty Paulman, Mark Schambach back here in Port St. Lucie at the spring training home of the New York Mets, the regular season home of the St. Lucie Mets of the Florida State League, and the site of the 2012 FHSAA Baseball Finals. We are scoreless going to the top of the 8th in this 5A semifinal game between Clay and Ponte Vedra. Clay will have the top of the order coming up at the top of the 8th.
Brand new ball game, 0-0 ball game. 1 run, all somebody needs.
Wes Weeks hits it into center field, but moving in and making the play is Jake Jacob. That was hit sharply, but Jacob again playing in the right position. 1 out as Weeks is now 0 for 4. He lines out on the first pitch at the top of the 8th. Here's Dane Dunning, the pitcher, who's 0 for 3, struck out twice. Matt Deegan has allowed 5 hits, no runs, 1 walk, and 4 strikeouts through now 7 1/3 innings.
If you're a Shark fan, you like seeing those quick 1-pitch outs, keeping Deegan in the ballgame.
That's a strike, 0-1. Deegan gets ahead.
I see some warming up going on. The left-hander Yelvington is tossing down on the side in the left field line down there where the bullpen is, just staying ready just in case, throwing lightly.
Yeah, Yelverton was scheduled to be the starter if Ponte Vedra won today and tomorrow in the championship game, as the 0-2 misses outside 1 and 2, but he may have to use him to win this game with Matt Deegan pitching 8 innings. 1 and 2 the count to Dane Dunning, the Clay pitcher. And he fouls it off to the right again out of play. It remains 1 and 2.
Well, it could be that he's getting ready for those left-handed bats. They're in the middle of the order for Clay. Byron Yelverton, left-handed pitcher, warming up in the bullpen now, is on the rubber. I have a pretty good hunch that if they get to the 3-4 hitters this inning.
Hit to short.
Yeah, with 2 outs routinely,
Yep.
We'll
That's
see.
an easy play there for Roquez. And on to first in time. Dunning is out 6-3. He's 0 for 4 today. 2 outs. Here's Dakota Higdon, who's 1 for 3 with a grounder to short. Fly to left at a single and stole the base, was left stranded in the 6th inning. First team to 1 wins, it looks like.
Well, if
Ponte
Higdon,
Vedra it would be.
if Higdon finds his way on base, I'm going to say right now, I'm guessing that that's going to be the end of the day for Deegan. He's thrown a lot of pitches. He's done his job. They'll bring the lefty in to face Frozowski.
0-1 outside, and it's 1-1 to Higdon, and Frasowski's 2 for 3 today against Deegan, so that might be a good time to bring in Yelverton, the left-hander. 2 outs, nobody on. See if Deegan can get out of the inning first. Well, outside, and it's 2-1.
Just a bit outside.
As Bob Euchre would say. Just a bit outside. 2-1 now, and here's Deegan's pitch on the way. Swing and a miss, came back with a fastball, and it's 2-2. Just when you think he's getting a little bit out of control, he comes back with a strike.
Well, we're in doubles, no doubles defense. Both corner infielders hugging the line, no ground balls down the line.
Chop fouled on the third baseline into the Ponte Vedra bullpen. It's 10 minutes to noon. It's warmed up to 78 degrees now with a little bit of wind blowing out towards the right field here, Digital Domain Park. 2-2 is outside for ball 3. So this is a big pitch for Deegan. I think I agree with you here, Mark. If he walks him or lets him get a hit somehow, you'll probably see Yelverton. Here's the 3-2. Hit foul off to the left. Look out.
Spoiled another good fastball in the outer corner there. It's a great at bat.
So it remains full 3-2. Now the sun comes out. 3-2 hit high in the air.
See
right
if that
down the
sun
left field
becomes
line.
an issue right here.
And it's
and
a
it
fair
does.
ball. Good call. Into second goes Dakota Higdon. You're right. The sun. I think he's trying to say he is. The third baseman Poling trying to say it was a foul ball. It looked fair. It fell between Poling and the shortstop Roquez, and that sun came out just as that ball was hit. Probably the first time we've seen it today. And it falls fair for a hit. Higdon gets to second with 2 outs. That's unbelievable. So now we will see Frasowski is 2 for 3 today with 2 singles and a fly to center. Tom Stanton comes out with a discussion with the umpire, but that to me looked like a fair ball all the way.
Well, Deegan is still in the ball game. He's given the signal in the bullpen to crank it up. Get the there's 2 levels of warming up in the bullpen. There's throwing lightly, getting ready, and then there's heated up, meaning I want you to be within 6 pitches of coming in. But they're going to go ahead and walk and leave Deegan in the ball game. That's another great strategy.
Yep. So instead they'll face Tolkien, who has a single today as well. He's 1 for 3, but Frasowski had 2 hits. He draws the walk, so second of the game for Deegan, and that's the first intentional walk. Well, all that starts with a high pop fly, which comes back fair and falls right behind third base on that left field line fair. Now it's first and second with 2 outs for play here in the top of the 8th. Tolkien with a single, hit into a fielder's choice, grounded to short. First pitch in the dirt. It was a good stop again.
Marty, that ball looked like a Phil Mickelson flop shot, high in the air with backspin, drew the ball back toward the foul line, landed it right near the cup.
Good stop by Willich again. It's 1-0. Yelverton continuing to get warmed up down in the bullpen for Ponte Vedra. Chop to third, and that's going to be, foul ball. Nope. Umpire called it foul.
How in the world?
Brett Poling is unhappy. He caught that ball, stepped right on third. It's an easy fielder's choice.
Oh, my.
That's 2 in this inning that have gone against Ponte Vedra. I think the first one was much more obvious than that one. That looked close.
I don't know if he called it foul based on where it was touched or based on whether it hit the runner in the box. There's no doubt that it, from our angle anyways, we're not in the same line of fire that the umpire saw it, but that ball looked like a fair ball to me.
Well, Poling caught it right behind third, so that's one way of telling. And then he actually stepped on third with the ball. It would have been an easy fielder's choice.
Well, but nobody has a better angle than that umpire standing right there at home plate. So we got to give him his due there. We'll see how it affects the game. Two breaks going Clay County way.
1-1 now. Oh, swing and a miss, Deegan. Good breaking ball. It's 1-2.
The folks from Green Cove Springs are on the edge of their seat right now.
Hit possibly gives Clay the lead. Not necessarily. We've seen runners held up before in this game. 1-2 the count, the pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. And Willich will tag out Tolkien, and Deegan gets a big strikeout to end the top of the 8th. 2 more left on for Clay. who's now left 8 on in this game. No runs, 1 hit, 1 walk, no errors, 2 left on base. We head to the bottom of the 8th. Ponte Vedra again needs one run to win. No score between Clay and Ponte Vedra in the 5A semifinals here on the FHSAA network. All right, we head to the bottom of the 8th. Ponte Vedra can win it with a run. They'll have 7, 8, and 9 due up with Ryan Tiefer, the first baseman, leading off. He struck out twice today against Dane Dunning. No score between Clay and Ponte Vedra. Wild inning last inning. A pop fly that fell fair between the third baseman and shortstop for Clay. Another ball that looked like it was out at third. And Tiefer up the middle. Nice, nice play by DeSoyo as it got behind Dunning, and he makes a good throw to first in time. Tiefer on the first pitch grounds out.
Dunning's not fooling people like he was earlier in the game now. They're starting to tee off and hit some hard balls. If he can finish this inning, you got to tip your cap to both starting pitchers. They've gone way above and beyond the call of duty today.
So one out here is Alex Willich, the catcher, who is singled, grounded to short.
Extremely shallow in center field. I've never seen a center fielder play in a high school game that shallow.
Willich fouls it back to the backstop. It's 0-1. That play at third last inning was very close, but then Deegan comes back and gets a strikeout, his 5th of the game, to end the top of the 8th.
Hey, looking back at these plays, the play of the game could be that center field grab by Jeremy Foy earlier.
There's a swing and a miss by Willich. It's 0-2. That was leading off the bottom of the 7th, and Max Miller could probably run all the way to the plate to win the game.
Well, because he actually dove at the end, if he does fall and that ball sails past his glove, it would have rolled all the way to the base of the fence, and there's nobody able to back him up.
Ooh, just a little bit outside, 1-2. And the 1-2 on the way is up and in. 2-2. On deck, it's Brett Poling. Sutton's still out here in Port St. Lucie.
Willich with an interesting batting style, hands out over the plate prior to the pitch on the way. Draws him back and drives the ball into right center field.
That's right center. That's going to actually a nice play out there in right field to cut it off. If that gets to the fence, he's gone. As good play by Dakota Higdon, but it is a one-out hit for Alex Willich here in the bottom of the 8th. There's the winning run at first base. They'll have a courtesy runner for the catcher.
Conditions matter. Had we not had all the rain we've had, that ball skips past and goes all the way to the wall, and maybe a triple even for the catcher. But as it turns out, Higdon makes a fine angle move, cuts the ball off, holds him to one base.
Yeah. And here comes Rob Thompson. And we'll see, as you're right, Dunning getting hit a little harder than he was earlier. Eric Smith will run it first again for Willich, and we'll see what Rob Thompson decides to do here in the bottom of the 8th with a runner at first and 1 out. Well, only the 3rd hit of the game for Ponte Vedra, but they have definitely been hitting the ball much better the last couple innings against Dane Dunning of Clay. But that gets to the gap. It is the catcher running, but at least 3 bases probably for Willich. So it was a good play by Higdon to cut it off, and that's a quick meeting as well. Rob Thompson will leave Dunning in the game.
Tremendous confidence in both starting pitchers by the coaches. You do know you got to win 2 to win the state championship. So as much as you got to win this one, you don't want to expend all your bullets in one game.
Brett Poling has struck out looking grounded to short. He's 0 for 2.
Number 9 hitter. See what Dunning can do.
Pitch up and in, 1-0.
Who's our runner?
Eric Smith at first.
A team that built itself on speed. You got to believe he's going to run if they get an account. It is not 3-2, is it?
No, it's 1-0.
Scoreboard's a little lagging there.
Swing and a miss. They'll try to get the
Beautiful
second.
Throw, and he gunned it.
He is out. Eric Smith out. As the throw down by
Wilson.
Wilson is in time, 2-4, and out goes the runner, and a big play there in the inning.
You couldn't make a better throw right there. Put it right near the bag, just in the front first base side. Poor runner had no shot.
So 2 outs and now nobody on for Ponte Vedra, and the count's 1-1 to Poling. Poling tried to help out his runner there by swinging to the pitch outside, but it didn't matter as Wilson made the throw. There's a strike. Again on the outside corner, 1-2.
Yeah, Austin Wilson right there. A huge play. Holding on to that moniker of refuse to lose.
And the 1-2 on the way is hit past DeSuyo into right field for a base hit. Boy, that is a huge play now. Throwing out that runner at second because of the hit there. May have scored a run, or if he gets to second base, at least have moved him to third if he was at first. So
Well,
second hit of the inning is Poling singles to right.
Dunning is going to surprise me if he stays in the game here. He's going back to the top of the order. He's starting to get hit a little bit. He's given you, I think, all he's got. But Coach knows him better than I do. He may have just one more out left in him. Nobody in the bullpen. It's his game to win or lose.
So Jake Jacob now will bunt, but it's right to the first baseman. Did he miss him? No, he didn't tag him.
No.
Persofsky missed him running down the first base line. Jacob will get to first as he bunted on the very first pitch, first and second with 2 outs.
Persofsky made an aggressive move, an outstanding fielding first baseman, an athletic move to come get the ball.
It's the only play he had, and here comes Robbie Thompson to argue that he went out of the baseline, and that is a good point because Jacob went way out of the first base line, but Persofsky, the only play he really had was to tag him. It was a good bunt by Jacob up that line.
Now the brakes seem to be swinging Ponte Vedra's way. Let's see if they can cash in. Umpiring has come into play here with a couple interesting calls, borderline calls that have kind of starting to even out a little bit.
Well, and then again, isn't that caught stealing at second looms even bigger for Ponte Vedra. 3 hits in the inning for the Sharks. And the argument over with Robbie Thompson. Mike Rideout letting me know 9 nationally ranked teams playing in the finals this year as opposed to 8 a year ago. Oh.
Well, we got a break in the action as the coaches make some changes here.
First and second, 2 outs.
Got a pinch hitter, number 11.
11 for Ponte Vedra.
That is Jordan McKenna.
Jordan McKenna at 294 has driven in 3 runs. McKenna will hit for for Jackson Johnson, the left fielder.
Big moment here for McKenna.
Swing and a miss.
It's not like we're, he's been down in the bowels of a stadium hitting in the hitting tunnels. He's been sitting on the bench for 2.5 hours, and now he's been given the golden ticket to go to the plate and be a hero and win the ball game.
1-1 the count. McKenna probably can win the game with a hit. Breaking pitch in for a strike 0-2. You wonder. And a little surprised that Dunning stays in the game, but here he is.
Well, if McKenna can get a base knock here to win this ball game, he may get a new nickname of Cold Turkey. If he doesn't, we'll see what happens.
0-2, a little bit outside, 1-2.
The adrenaline is flowing now for Dunning. That's a great game plan. He got ahead on a guy coming off the bench. 2 quick strikes. Tried to extend the strike zone outside. See if he comes back with a breaking pitch here.
1-2 on the way. Oh, he took a little bit off and a late swing by McKenna, but he stays alive. It's still 1-2.
McKenna battling for his life up there. I mean, last thing you want to do is come off the bench and get in a quick hole 0-2. Now he's got to battle all the way back.
And the 1-2 on the way. Swung and pitch at the dirt. They're going to make the throw to first to complete the strikeout. The throw down by Wilson in time, and coming back is Dunning to get the strikeout of McKenna to end the bottom of the 8th. 6 strikeouts for Dane Dunning. We may play all day here as we go to the 9th. No runs in the inning, 3 hits for Ponte Vedra. There were no errors and 2 left on for the Sharks. We go to the 9th. No score between Clay and Ponte Vedra here on the FHSAA Network. All right, we go to the top of the 9th. No runs, 5 hits, 1 error for the Clay Blue Devils. No runs, 5 hits, 1 error for the Ponte Vedra Sharks.
Eric Smith is in left field now, Marty.
Clay has left 8 on. Ponte Vedra has left 6 on. And you mentioned Eric Smith go into left field. He was in as the courtesy runner last inning. And he will go into left field in place of Jackson Johnson, as Hunter Alexander will lead it off and hit one foul down the third base side. It's 0-1. 6, 7, and 8 for Clay in the top of the 9th. I know this is not minor league, major league, college baseball. We are in extra innings. This is high school baseball. We play 7 innings.
The folks that paid the gate fee, they're getting free baseball right now. A little extra.
The teams are watching are getting some action as well. As I don't believe we'll start our next game at 1 o'clock at this rate, but the count 1-1 to Alexander, who has a sacrifice, a single, and a fly to right. He's 1 for 2. And 1-1 is chopped to third. And a throw across. Nope, not scooped by Tiefer. The throw from Poling was in the dirt. And that'll be an error on Ponte Vedra to start the top of the 9th. E5 on the third baseman.
Well, it's no question in my mind what's happening right now. DeSuya is going to be giving himself up and sacrificing, unless they run some kind of butcher boy slash play where they pull the bunt back and try to slap it. But routine play right here is to try to bunt the man over.
DeSuya is 0 for 3 today.
We're going to go with a pinch runner here.
And that's going to be number 22 again. That's Jacob Turner. He'll run for Alexander at first.
This is a substitution move as opposed to a courtesy runner now. Unless Hunter's moved to catch, I don't think that happened.
Although I believe, you don't know if you can actually re-enter the player in that case. So Turner at first, he's running for the second time today. Nobody out after the error on the third baseman. Poling, it's bunted.
There's an outstanding sacrifice. Quick wheels, got to get rid of it quickly to get the runner.
He did, though, in time. The sacrifice, though, goes 1 to 3, and moving to second is Turner with 1 out. So as you mentioned there, Mark, sure enough, DeSuya then there to bunt, and he gets the job done. So 1 out. Here is Austin Wilson, who's 0 for 2 with a walk.
Well, it's amazing. You get into these extra inning games, you can be 0 for infinity, but you get one little blue pit right here and you become a hero. Austin Wilson, the catcher, already a hero with that throw he made to catch the stealing runner last inning.
It's in the dirt. Good stop there by the catcher, Willich. It's 1-0. Playing for 2 hours and 5 minutes now. Still waiting for our first run of the game. It's the top of the 9th. Deegan looks to second. The 1-0 is up and in, 2-0. And still, actually, we have 2 pitchers in the bullpen. Yelverton, the left-hander, continuing to warm up, and a right-hander for Ponte Vedra is number 13. That's Walker Scheller. See how long Deegan is given here as he's behind 2-0. Breaking pitch hit foul over to the Ponte Vedra dugout. It's 2-1.
Yelverton's a 79 to 81 mile an hour pitcher. You know, he throws faster than he looks though, because he's deceptive and gets the ball up on you quick, hiding the ball well.
2-1 is hit into center field, but coming in making the play again is Jacob. Boy, hit well, but right at Jake Jacob for the second out in the 9th. That
was a great job of hitting by Wilson. Just hit it right at him.
2 outs. Here's the designated hitter, Jake Altman, who's 0 for 3. Actually, no, this is not going to be Altman.
This is a pinch hitter.
This is number 8. That is Luke Sushan.
What year player?
He is a sophomore.
Chance for one of the young bloods to make his mark on the program right here. Little Blue Devil action, trying to do something special here. Something he'll remember for the rest of his life. He comes in late and gets a base hit right here.
And he'll hit for the DH, Altman, Suhan, pardon me. Runner at second. That's the go-ahead run with 2 outs. Deegan looks in the pitch. Making pitch in for a strike. He's ahead again, 0-1.
Outfield playing a little bit deeper than earlier. Around the diamond, all the infielders playing back. Everybody's diving. Nothing gets through the infield.
0-1 the count, and Suyan takes timeout.
Nice composure by the sophomore.
Low, and it's 1-1.
As much as he would like to get a base hit right here, if he can find a way on base and get the top of the order up with 2 outs and let one of the older players do something, that's just as good as a base hit almost.
And the 1-1 on the way is hit in the air to center. Jacob will come in, make the play on the run. Nice running catch by Jake Jacob, and Clay will leave another runner stranded. The Blue Devils have now left 9 on base. No runs, no hits, 1 error, another runner left on. We go to the bottom of the 9th. Still no score between Clay and Ponte Vedra in this 5A semifinal here on the FHSAA network. Back to Port St. Lucie in 60 seconds. Well, we've said this for 3 innings now. 1 run for Ponte Vedra, and they win it. They're the home team. All they need is 1 run, but they haven't gotten it yet. Neither team has a run as we go to the bottom of the 9th. Marty Paulman along with Mark Schambach here from the 2012 FHSAA Baseball Finals, our first 5A semifinal of the day from Digital Domain Park in Port St. Lucie. Perry Orth, the right fielder, will lead it off. He's hitting a double plays twice today. He's 0 for 3 and also a strikeout, so a rough day at the plate for the Ponte Vedra right fielder. There's a drive to left field, but playing it perfectly is Wes Weeks, and Weeks makes the play, and Worth flies out on the first pitch of the ninth.
Well, Marty, there's no doubt in my mind. They've seen him a couple times. Dunning's not fooling people. That ball was well hit, but just right into the teeth of the outfield defense. There's a reason why nobody's warming up in the pen. I finally figured it out. They're all on the field making plays. All the better backup pitchers are on the diamond playing defense right now.
Well, Dunning gets the first out. Here's Max Miller, who is 0 for 3 today with 2 groundouts and a fly out.
Well, it doesn't matter how you get them out as long as you get them out. So hats off to Dunning. Keeps throwing strikes, keeps challenging hitters.
And they list Alexander and Frosowski as pitchers, as well as Jeremy Fulway.
So is Weeks and the center fielder.
Yeah. 1-0 inside, 2-0.
The age-old wisdom is if he's the best you got, you continue to ride him until something really bad happens.
There's the 2-0 outside, ball 3.
Both pitchers have, if you look up the word ace in the baseball dictionary, you would see these two guys' pictures sitting there.
Dane Dunning has 1 walk, 1 hit batter, and 6 strikeouts. He's allowed 5 hits, and there's ball 4. It's the second walk of the day, and Max Miller will go to first, and there is your winning run with 1 out.
Is that an omen? A would-be winning run, but we'll see.
Nathan Roquez, 0 for 2, was hit by a pitch. Stole the base back in the 5th. 2 groundouts to third as well. Yelverton continuing to warm up in the Ponte Vedra bullpen. As you said, Mark, no one in the Clay bullpen. Everyone's on the field. Will pitch his first pitch high, 1-0.
I don't expect Coach Stanton to back off. Uh-oh, time is out. Now we're going to have a discussion. That's 5 balls in a row, I believe.
Yeah, it is. And here comes Robbie Thompson. They are going to make a switch. So we will see a new pitcher for Clay, and it will be someone on the
shortstop, it appears.
Infield. Yeah, it will be Hunter Alexander. So Alexander will come in, and nice hand for Dane Dunning. And Robbie Thompson shakes his hand as well, as Dunning did all he could do today.
No rest for the weary. Dunning goes straight to shortstop.
Yeah, he has to replace Alexander, as he'll stay in the game to hit and play on the infield. 8 1/3 for Dunning. And he allowed 5 hits, so far no runs. The runner at first his responsibility, 2 walks and 6 strikeouts. And he also hit 1 batter, and he leaves the game here in the bottom of the 9th with no score, the winning run at first base. Also threw a wild pitch. So Hunter Alexander, the sophomore, will move from short to first. Don't have any updated numbers on Clay, but in the regular season, Alexander on the mound was 7-4, 67 innings pitched, allowed 49 hits, 30 walks, and 69 strikeouts. So he will enter with that runner at first and 1 out here in the bottom of the 9th.
Alexander's likely catching if Dunning wasn't pitching or playing. He wasn't playing short. Talented utility player, multi-talented.
Hunter Alexander committed to the University of Florida. Still only a sophomore, though.
That's the kind of talent you're talking about right there.
And he enters here in a big situation. And the first batter he'll face, actually, is Roquez still at the plate with a 1-0 count. Pitch misses low, and it's now 2-0. So our first pitching change of the game here in the bottom of the 9th. 2-0 the count with a runner at first, 1 out. Pitch on the way from Alexander is a fastball down the middle for a strike, 2-1. Yelverton's done throwing down in the bullpen, so he's going to come in. Pitch misses for ball 3. Throw to first is not in time behind Miller. It's 3-1 now. So Yelverton waiting to see if Ponte Vedra wins this game here, or we may see him in the top of the 10th if this game goes on.
Rokas patient up there. 3-1 count. Good pitch to hit. We'll see if they put the runner in motion or wait for the 3-2 count. Gone.
There goes the runner. Pitches ball 4.
Ball's live.
It
still.
is live. It hit him in the foot, and down to third goes Miller. What a strange play that was. And I'm thinking to myself, well, it's ball 4, but the play keeps going. You're right, Mark. Good call. As the ball hit Max Miller right in the foot, it bounded into left field, and now the winning run's at third with 1 out.
Well, there's very little options here other than to load the bases and create the force at the plate.
Does that go as an error as well?
That'll be an error on the throw.
That'll be an error on the throw. So error on the catcher, Wilson, allows the runner to go to third. Second error of the game for Clay. Walker Scheller due to hit. The DH is 0 for 3. First and third, 1 out. Miller goes to third. He's the winning run. Now 90 feet away.
Well, these kind of defensive situations, they may show indifference to the runner at first and let him just take second base.
Robbie Thompson now out of the dugout. Clay dugout calls timeout, and we're going to have a substitution in right field for the Blue Devils.
Justin Hamilton going into the ball game, probably just so they can get Dakota Higdon warmed up.
There's another possible pitching option.
Higdon's another catcher utility player. Perhaps they're going to get him geared up to go in at the plate. I don't know.
Better hurry, because a hit, a sac fly, anything wins the game for Ponte Vedra. The infield is in at all 4 positions. The outfield is in.
Could be defensively the new right fielder. Hamilton just has a stronger arm. Make a throw to the plate.
First pitch is high, 1-0 to Scheller.
Interesting strategy right here. They're playing the infield in, not playing for the double play up the middle, but yet 1 run scores matters. Why the runner at first base didn't go on that pitch, I'm not sure.
1-0 is hit into left field, and that is going to possibly win the game. The catch is made. The throw to the plate, it's a good throw, but it's not in time. Up the line, and Ponte Vedra wins it. Max Miller scores the winning run. It was a good catch by Weeks. He made a quick throw just a little bit up that third base line, enough to get the speedy Miller in ahead of the tag, and the Ponte Vedra Sharks are going to the state championship game in 5A tomorrow afternoon at 4:05, and what a game it was. And in the end,
their third ninth inning amazing win.
And yes, they have won 3 games. You're right, have the Sharks in 9 innings this postseason. The regional quarterfinals, they won 3-2 over Paxson. The regional final 2-1 over West Florida, and in the state semifinals 1-0 over the Clay Blue Devils. And a great season for Clay, ends at 21-10, their first appearance in the FHSAA baseball finals. And Ponte Vedra at 21-8 will play for their first state baseball title tomorrow at 4:05 against the winner of our game coming up later this afternoon between Tampa Jesuit and Plantation American Heritage. And in the end, it was a couple walks and an error that wins the game for Ponte Vedra.
Marty, I've watched baseball for a number of years. Anytime you have a ball game like this where both teams played their heart out, you just have to tip your hat and feel sorry for the folks that have to go home early, but should not hang their head. They had a fine season, and I'm sure this team is young and they'll be back again.
So Ponte Vedra wins it with 1 run on no hits, 1 error, and they leave 1 runner on base. Our final score, Ponte Vedra 1 and Clay 0 in this 5A semifinal. And a reminder, if you want a DVD of this game or any game of the 2012 FHSAA Baseball Finals, you should want one of this exciting game, go to FHSAAsports.com. Well, Mark, a lot of fun. Only our first game, a lot to go. 3 more to go today. For Mark Schambeck, I'm Marty Paulman saying so long for Digital Domain Park in Port St. Lucie. This has been a production of Play On Sports and the FHSAA Network. Our final once again, Ponte Vedra 1, Clay 0. We'll talk to you again here a little bit after 1 o'clock for the 6A semifinals. So long for now.
Florida High School Athletic Association, thank you for attending the 2012 FHSAA Baseball Finals.